we're in Proverbs chapter 11 on a study we're doing from chapter 10, 11, and 12. We're titled Righteousness Pays. It pays to be a righteous person. We this is our third day or fourth day, landing on verse 29 of that chapter. And the first part is what we've been looking at in the last 2, 3 days. It says, those who trouble their family will inherit nothing. They will inherit the wind. They will inherit nothing. If you don't respect the family setting that God has put you into, you will not get the benefit of being a part of that family, irrespective of what that family may be. Sometimes we despise that which God is given to us in a particular family setting. It's not everything that is apparent in what you're supposed to get from that particular place you find yourself, but there is something to get. Right, there's something that you can get from it. It might not be apparent, but there's something to learn from it. Right, those people might not be the best of people, but there's perseverance to learn from it. There's tenacity to learn from it. There's some inner strength, the ability to even live and walk with wicked people. That probably puts to mind an example for me. I'm having to work with someone who has an overrated personality view, and ability to navigate that is a training for me. There's something for me to learn in working with such a person. There's something to learn, knowing that that person determines my promotion or the lack thereof. My ability not to lose myself in that environment, is something that I'm supposed to take away from that, right? If I abuse, you know, if I abuse, my integrity, my standard in that environment, if I compromise, I lose that lesson. If I abuse, I use the excuse that this person is nice and then meet the person with the same type of roughness. I miss the training, the things God wants to teach me even in that environment. My training is the ability to keep my values, to keep my standards even in an environment that is not conducive. You see, we don't determine the cards that life plays us, but it is our responsibility, to play those cards in a way that we don't lose our integrity, in a way that we don't lose our character, in a way that we don't lose our value, in a way that we don't lose our belief, in a way that we are responsible to the God who is our home, the God who is watching over us, the God who sees us. That's what happened to Joseph. Joseph found himself in the house of Potiphar. That was a house that Joseph could have abused. Being in that house could have abused, the environment. Yes, he did everything right. He was made the head of the servants, a prize servant in that house, but he could have abused that, when he had a master that wanted to sleep with him. Joseph could have compromised. He could have given the excuse, oh, it's a sister. Oh, I'm in Egypt. I'm away from my parents. I have no say here. Then go and sleep with the master's wife. He would have missed it. He would have inherited the win. He would not have made it to the throne. He would not have been exalted if he had done that. We're still responsible wherever we find ourselves. Right, on one of the group chats, someone was giving an excuse. Oh, it's because of the Nigerian system. That's why people are not doing well, because of the Nigerian system. And I asked, is that going to be an excuse, at the gate of heaven? At the judgment seat of Christ, are you going to be able to present that as an excuse? Because other people are not doing well, because there's a problem with the system. Therefore, you're going to lose what? Your integrity. You're going to do something wicked before God because you are saying the system is bad. It doesn't hold water. You are still responsible. Irrespective of where you find yourself, you are responsible to God.